Hello everybody, it's Mike with the digitalnomad.net. Let me get the live stream up for you. This is why we're here, the Lucid live stream. And as you can see on their Facebook page, there's like 600 people watching. Anyway, we are here for review and comment on the Lucid unveiling, the Lucid Air.
California. It's a really thrilling day for me to present the company and our first product, Lucid Air. When I joined the company 7 years ago, I did so with a clear mission, and that mission was to take the electric car to the next level.
And of course, they went bankrupt.
There was so much
they have removed themselves from bankruptcy, and I'll tell you my main concern is that they may go back into bankruptcy.
To fulfilling that mission with the launch of Lucid Air, which is going into production in our plant in Arizona, spring 21. What really excites me today is that we'll, for the first time, show the whole lot collectively. We'll see the fusion of the art and the science, the technology.
It does have a cool design.
Together in an incredible product which will offer the customer so much more. Luxury and comfort, incredible performance, unrivaled.
Unfortunately, it's kind of expensive, and it's 8 years after the Model S was launched.
But the technology that underpins it.
See those screens? That looks cool.
What excites me,
I'm concerned the technology is not really much better than Tesla, if it is at all.
Mass producible, a battery pack, our motors, our inverters.
Yeah, the battery pack. I'm wondering about the life of that battery pack, because Tesla's got the battery day coming up in like 2 weeks. They're probably going to announce a 1,000,000-mile battery. Does Lucid have that?
And the man in the street will benefit. But you know, ultimately, all mankind will benefit because we all breathe this air. This is truly a team sport. It's not me, it's the 1,001 people behind me. My role is to catalyze all that brain power, fuse it together and create a methodology and a steely determination that we're going to do this.
Well, like I said, they've got a steep uphill battle.
We all start somewhere.
They may have something that's comparable to the Model S right now, but it's going to be probably much more expensive. That's the problem.
It's the building blocks we first play with that give life its shape, where purpose reveals itself, and the pursuit begins in earnest. There's no legacy to prop us up, but then there's no legacy holding us back. We find our own footing, hitch a ride on a distant dream, and just go. Uncertain of what we'll encounter along the way. The people we meet, the challenges we face, the memories we make, the obstacles, and the breakthroughs. Searching for a window in a wall, then discovering a door that opened. Not even our own.
A lot of hype here, and since it's just really just hype here, I want to mention that, you know, Cadillac just launched their SUV all electric, but I kind of discounted it because I do think that most of the legacy ICE manufacturers aren't going to make it through this EV transition, including GM. I know GM recently announced a partnership in the last day or so, but I don't think that's enough to save it. And of course, it won't be the same GM as has been in the past.
Until we will it into existence. Passion finds a way.
So we all know that electric cars are like your own personal roller coaster. The question is, does this Lucid Air any different or much more different than the Model S to make it even significant, considering the massive price difference?
Giving us the power to see where others couldn't. If the journey has taught us anything,
because the future of electric is going to have to be affordable for everyone, which means slashing costs. Now, this is all marketing and hype here that we're watching now. I'm just trying to get you guys the lowdown so you don't buy in and drink the Kool-Aid, because I don't have a very good feeling about the Lucid company. And again, I'm just, as you can see from the title, I'm really just doing this video as a state of the EV industry update more than anything else. Because watching this unveil and watching what Lucid is offering and not offering 8 years after the Model S is launched, and of course they don't even have the car in production now, so it's really going to be more like 9 or possibly 10, because the Model S was actually produced in 2012. You know, we see these LED lights, everybody's got them, aerodynamic shape. They say it's a little bit more aerodynamic, the most aerodynamic sedan in the world, whatever that means, because maybe the Model S is not considered a sedan because it's actually a liftback. I don't know. And I think they're saying it's the quickest sedan in the world, but by how much? I mean, are these things even perceptible? Because the differences are so slight. And of course, what about their charging network? Do they have a charging network like Tesla? Supposedly it's the fastest charging car in the world, but we know other competitors have tried to do something with their charging network, such as Electrify America, and now they've shut down everything on the East Coast of the United States because it was such a poor execution.
Of electrification and really
sounds similar to Tesla.
To the next level,
but of course they went bankrupt.
Take the automobile to the next level. This idea,
so they're trying to relaunch as the same as Tesla is, in my opinion. And I think it's a little too little too late.
Take away any obstacle in our consumer's mind of whether or not electric car is a good thing for them. That's the goal. That's
we already know that.
Really
we already know that electric cars are the future.
And make the best car in the world. When we were first thinking about the design of the car, I really wanted to create this vehicle that is effortlessly sleek, seamless, something that just flowed through the air without being overly aggressive. And through that vision, we came up with this idea of a jet, an aircraft. So early on, we started working towards this very clean
the cockpit design.
Simplify the
it's
down to its very
not all that unique, if you ask me.
The car really has just one line that goes all the way around, and that became this key defining feature. And all the other details play off of that one line. At the front of the car, we have this incredible light blade, and that's really enabled by our micro lens array. That allows the lights to be very simple and very linear. So we start at that front line and we bring it all the way through the fender, right up the side of the car and around the rear of the car into the taillight signature. This is enabled by the fact that we have our shut lines around the side of the vehicle.
To me, it looks like just a sleeker sedan.
That allows us to have.
Of course, that means no hatchback like the Model S, so it's not going to have as much cargo, most likely. Largest taillight ever. Okay, we really care about interior space, cargo carrying capacity.
Through simplicity. One of the advantages Lucid has is our drivetrain components are incredibly compact and very power dense.
Well,
what that allows us to do is think completely different about the space of the vehicle. In our case,
this is the same. Battery in the center, motors on top of the axles, extra space in the front. It's not unique.
On the inside and more compact on the outside.
Where's their spare tire? Do they have a spare tire? Because you know Teslas don't have spare tires.
As a result, we've been able to create this incredible front trunk, or frunk, and we're proud to say it's the biggest frunk ever made. It's got a double-decker storage.
As you know, if you have an electric car, the frunks aren't all that usable, and they're not climate-controlled when in motion.
The trunk of the Lucid Air is really split into two levels. The upper level is for larger objects, as well as longer objects, for example, like a surfboard, where you can utilize the split seat and allow incredibly long cargo capacity for the rear. In addition to the upper storage, we also have this second tier of storage down below underneath the bifold cover. And if you combine
they have that in Teslas and other vehicles.
Front, you end up with a cargo capacity that is much greater than a traditional sedan.
Looks like no spare tire,
in line with what you would get
similar to Tesla. So remember, you're gaining that at the cost of a spare tire, and electric cars aren't any different with losing tires.
So we really divided
having a tire go down.
The front of the vehicle is meant to be more sporty. Typically, we do that in darker colors. As you work your way to the back of the vehicle, this is meant to be a more relaxing
two-tone interior.
And so those areas
it's got the glass roof like Tesla, I see.
Brighter colors to create this duality between the front of the vehicle and the back of the vehicle. We're going to offer two versions for the rear seating. The first version that we launch with will be a bench seat. We're also going to offer an executive rear seat.
They had that at one point with the Model S early on, but they don't offer that anymore in the Model S.
To this lounge space, we have this incredible glass canopy, and this is this whole idea of letting light into the vehicle.
Same as Tesla. Again, none of this is unique. Just realize this is the same as Tesla, only many, many years late, 8 to 10 years after. And of course, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it's because they went bankrupt previously, and I'm very concerned that they may go bankrupt again.
And that's all about how you apply.
Do you think they're going to go bankrupt? Let me know in the comments.
It's important that the metal look and feel like metal, and how it interacts with the wood feels quality, feels intrinsically valuable.
Okay, they're
And
talking
it's
about
that
high quality
combination that
interiors.
really gives you that feeling of high craftsmanship.
That's good.
I've always been drawn to sort of the beauty of objects and what makes something remarkable. The quality of the build. It's not just
Yeah,
the
they're of
materials
course
themselves, but
playing
really
off
how
of
they all come together.
issues
That's
that
been
people
a
have
very
had with
important
Tesla, panel
philosophy
gaps,
of how
other
we work.
quality
What makes something good design
things,
is creating
but
the
of course they're going to
passion,
charge you even
creating
more
the
money
care,
here.
the
Are
fit and
people willing to
finishes,
pay a
and the
premium
attention to
over,
details.
the Model S is like an
We're
$80,000 car,
measuring the pitch of
and
the
this one
stitch,
is
the weight
they
of
may
the
offer an
thread,
$80,000
the
version, but it's
suppleness of the
only after they
leather,
saw all the
how deep
backlash from the
is
high-priced
the
versions they
logo
announced earlier.
embossed into
They just
the
kind of threw
metal,
that in the
how it
last
feels to run
24
your hand
hours
along the
to
wood,
48 hours, I
but it actually
believe.
feels like wood.
I don't know if they'll
We're
offer all
always
the
looking for
high-quality
minute
materials
details,
in
things
the
that people
base
probably
model,
don't even
basically, is
really
what
think
that's going to be.
about. When I first started at Lucid, we didn't really know who we were.
Yeah, and they
in
went
a lot of
bankrupt,
ways,
remember.
but
They
we knew
definitely
we
went
were a
bankrupt.
California company. It became a very natural fit for us to think about
They were looking at
doing
materials.
interiors and themes that were in very specific locations within California at very specific times of the day, and how the light would look like at those locations.
Definitely into the
lighting in
marketing here. Again,
California is like no
Elon
other.
Musk is Tesla's marketer. They don't have
We looked
professional
at the
paid
day as a 24-hour
marketing type
period, and we
things
started
like
out at the
this. And
beginning
of
of
course,
the day
Cadillac had
in
it in
Santa
their
Monica.
launch of their SUV, their electric SUV.
Mid-morning,
It was a little too cheesy
it
for
was
me.
Big Basin.
I'm wondering if they're going to sell these things through dealers or
At
direct. I don't even
noontime,
know
it
that.
was
If you guys
Santa
know, let me know in the
Cruz.
comments. Because as you know, Tesla has no
Sunset,
dealers.
it was Tahoe. And then near midnight, it was Mojave Desert. They all had very specific and really beautiful lighting conditions that lent themselves to us starting to talk about what would these color combinations
Okay, we need
be
to
and
just
how
hear
could
about
we
the
incorporate
price.
this idea.
See how the screens work.
We
Did they have
decided to
automatic
have a
driving?
dream
Did they have,
edition
are they talking about
developed
level
in
5
Santa Monica
full
theme.
self-driving?
It
Or
was
do they have
really
any type
about
of charging network?
imagining Santa
These are the
Monica
important
when
things.
the sun hasn't quite risen yet. It's very misty and foggy, and you're looking sort of this nebulous haze of grays and whites. We developed this beautiful graphite gray along with the ceramic white interior. We have silvered eucalyptus, which is an ode
Look at those
to
names.
driftwood. Santa Monica's the first part
It's
of
the
the
marketers.
day. It's an awakening, a starting point, and that just lent itself to our first introduction. It was this perfect, natural connection.
Once we established this overall feeling of space in the interior, we put a big emphasis on the displays, and we
What
knew
is that
it
logo?
wasn't about having the most displays or the largest displays. It was about what's the optimal position and form factor.
Yeah, there's
for the
quite a few
driving
displays, and they're
experience.
set up for
As a
traditional
result, we
driving
came up
for
with this
sure.
5K floating display that is completely curved, optimizing the view and touch for the driver, as well as the view out to the road. In addition, we have a large center console display. It is optimally placed
Just
for
like
both
the Model S.
driver and passenger, and it retracts into the center console and exposes a large storage area up front.
Okay, that's
We also
gonna
have an
break. I think we know
incredibly large
that.
center console. This has docking for inductive charging and phones, as well as 2 additional large storage compartments, which is very unique for a vehicle in this class. Even though there was a huge focus on our displays and the touch interface, we still wanted to find that balance of the analog tactile experience. So we put a lot of focus on the steering wheel and how the roller toggles feel in your hands, as well
Those are
as
gonna
the
break
center
too.
console controls. All of this still celebrates that mechanical feeling and the physical touch of the vehicle. It's so important.
Those
to
things are
balance
not gonna,
the
there's
digital
the balance,
with the
yeah, but
mechanical.
how about reliability?
When thinking about
Those
the Lucid
things do not
in-car
look very
user
sturdy.
experience, we realize that our customers are used to a very easy device interaction with the consumer products in their lives. And once they get in a modern vehicle, that experience was broken. At Lucid, we really wanted to try and close that gap. As a result, our focus was really on this idea of simplicity, ease of use, and intuitiveness, and really having an empathy for our customer. That would ensure the time in the car was time well spent. To enhance this, we knew the
There's that
user
display in the
interface
middle.
had to have a certain elegance about it. That meant a real focus on color, on tone, and layering to create a certain ambience inside the vehicle, that even integrated into the ambient lighting, enhancing the overall beauty of Lucid Air. This environment is further enhanced by our immersive audio system, completely engineered and developed in-house. With
Same as
21
Tesla.
speakers around and above
Tesla
you,
systems are
and
very
over
good,
800
except for the
watts of
base
power.
Model S system,
Along
which I don't
with
even
our
think is
partners,
in
we're bringing
existence
a
anymore,
true
even available.
spatial
So
sound experience
no
that
question
isn't
about it. Tesla has
available
some
in any other
impressive
vehicle
sound
today.
systems on all
So
their
the
new
Lucid
vehicles.
UX experience
You'd
actually
have to go to a
starts
used Model
outside
S
the
with a
car
base system to
in our
find
very
that.
unique Lucid app.
That looks very
This
similar to
app will
Tesla.
allow you to precondition the vehicle, set a
Yep, very
navigation
similar.
route, check your charge status, and even check upcoming charge locations.
I wonder if they have
The
a
app
smart
is
zone.
tied to your Lucid ID, so as you approach the vehicle, it knows it's you, the lighting sequence is activated, the car unlocks, and the door handles present themselves.
Present
Once you get
themselves. That sounds
inside
like a
the
Model
vehicle,
S.
the car confirms that it's you through facial recognition. This activates all your pre-settings.
Well, there's a lot of
And then
software,
loads
which
the
means
trip
a
you've
lot
just
of things
planned.
could go wrong, especially for a
Alexa,
company
lock the
that's
front door.
already gone bankrupt and had serious issues. And we know that there's been serious issues with Volkswagen's electric car trying to launch. And I think these Electrify America chargers that are being replaced on the East Coast of the United States, I think that's also the software along with those charging stations.
Music or phone, you get key information and functionality up above. When you swipe down, that opens the full application on the screen below. The center display is also where you activate climate control and HVAC features, as well as settings. We've enabled over-the-air updates, which allows it to stay cutting edge and refreshed over time. The digital customer journey is designed to be seamless, from web to retail to application to overall in-car experience. We want our customers to feel like we've anticipated their needs without needlessly complicating anything. It goes without saying, we're all really proud of the design and key features that we brought into the Lucid Air. But this has only been made possible by incredible engineering and true innovation with our in-house technologies.
Again, not much different than Tesla here at all. It's a lot of marketing is what I'm seeing.
And to achieve that, you really need to attract the most brilliant engineers and designers in the world. So to enable the
This sounds like Tesla again.
to work, there's an old adage: if you want to break the rules, first you have to master them. So it required mastery of the 5 key elements of electric cars, electric powertrain, and we do all that in-house. So the battery, motor, transmission, power electronics or inverter.
I wonder if it's more than one speed. He said transmission.
Of hardware, software.
In Tesla, it's a single-speed gearbox. This could be more complex.
Fulfilled in our first product, the Lucid Air, to miniaturize, but to improve the efficiency at the same time. That is a really tough thing to pull off. You could do one or the other, but to combine the two, that's what I'm really proud of. So really, perhaps if we were to distill one key metric for the prowess of an EV company, surely it would be range. And I'm really delighted that Lucid Air has been independently validated as achieving over 500 miles, just an EPA estimate. But
Okay, over 500 miles.
Which is more underlying.
What's the size of that battery pack? What's the price of the car?
Because really, anyone can go and stuff a huge battery in an electric car and get a huge range. That's dumb range. What we want to do is create smart range. And why I'm thrilled that we've got over 500 miles is because we've done it with a significantly smaller battery pack. We are over 15% more efficient than the nearest competitor. So Lucid Air is achieving over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is really unprecedented for a car of that level of luxury and interior size. Now, driving from here in the Bay Area down to Los Angeles and from New York to Washington, D.C. is a true reality. And I like to think of it as goodbye range anxiety and hello range confidence. I'm particularly proud of our battery pack for so many reasons. First of all, it's very sculpted and forms part of the crash structure and envelope of the car. The underside of our pack is just gently curved, forms part of the aerodynamic diffuser of the car. So our pack influences the range of the car, not just by the batteries that are in it, but because of its curved shape, makes the car more aerodynamic to side through the air more cleanly and get more range that way. But there's a whole other dimension to this. Its sheer manufacturability is a breakthrough. Our pack is designed like Lego bricks, designed for mass production. That keeps the costs down. It means that we can have a higher quality solution, more reliable. Looking ahead, it can apply to smaller, more affordable cars. And that's very much part of the Lucid dream and vision.
Well, they've got to start producing some less expensive cars fast,
The thermal technology
or they won't
is a
survive.
breakthrough. We have a thermal system which is much more reliable, much more dependable, and more efficient than our newest competitor. It's
Tesla?
also more compact. We have a pack which can take 300 kilowatts of fast charge over 900 volts. No one else has that.
Right, but it's going to affect the life of the pack for sure, and they will probably scale it back after so many fast charges, or it's going to kill your pack early, one or the other.
So the pack is a multi-dimensional, multifunctional, integral part of the core architecture of the vehicle. A really big part of our battery pack technology is our BMS, or battery monitoring system. And it's so instrumental in monitoring the health of the battery. But BMS does so much more than that. It helps our thermal management, and it helps the life.
Of course, Tesla does that as well.
And it is a significant contributor.
And hopefully they've got the software so that it's reliable. This is going to be a big, big concern. That's a big unknown here. How reliable are these cars going to work?
Supplier for all 24 cars in the world's premier electric race car series, the World Championship. That pack was created, conceived, engineered, developed.
They have some racing experience.
Manufactured here in this very building. And that pack really transformed the sport. We offered double the capacity of its predecessor. It allowed, finally, the car to run a complete race distance with a single charge. We've had 0 failures. We've had 100% reliability. We've accrued so much knowledge that technology that we've developed and finessed on the racetracks is now finding its way directly into the Lucid.
You know, Neo was in racing too, but they backed out of racing. They're no longer involved.
Their feet is race-proven battery technology. The surprising thing here is the performance of the car. And I may like fast cars, but honestly, I didn't set out to create a car as fast as Lucid Air. I set out to create a car with amazing range that was really going to change the world. Even with my desire to make that.
And of course, the 500 miles of range, they said, it's not necessarily going to be real world.
Even with great efficiency,
and
we still need a
but it's just going to be probably a little bit ahead of Model S, which is about 400 miles now.
You end up with a relatively large amount
and of course,
available power.
it's got a little bit bigger battery pack as well, because Model S is 100 kilowatt.
Motors and inverters and the rest of the system
Theirs is like 115, I think.
That power that's available. And you might think we'd end up with unduly inefficient other elements. No, this miniaturization process and this relentless search for efficiency has resulted in the rest of the system being minute, and yet, unbelievably, we have over 1,000 horsepower.
It's got high horsepower.
I'm particularly proud of the motor that we'd developed in-house because
I
it's
think that the Model S is only about 800.
At the same time, we've made it super efficient and power dense. And that's really a rare combination. We've been able to achieve that because we've got some real joined up thinking between motor and transmission team. In fact, they're not two separate teams. They operate together as a single team because we think of the motor and transmission here at Lucid as a single inertial system. And that's led to quite a breakthrough. Our motor systems are complete units. That's electric motor, transmission, differential, and inverter. That is a unit just this size. It weighs 73 kilos and is up to 500
I said transmission
kilowatts.
Again.
There is nothing else in the marketplace even close to that. Now, because our motors are so compact, we're able to fit them in different configurations within the car. We can fit 1, 2, or 3, each of which is 600 horsepower. But this is the beauty of this sort of joined up thinking, and this is all synergistic.
Model S will have a
space
triple
concept.
motor very soon.
So we've spoken a lot about how we've reduced the size of the power units, but this space concept
It'll likely be
extends beyond
in production
that.
before
We
this
have a
car
very
with the triple motor.
innovative heating, ventilation, air conditioning system, HVAC. We have 2 independent blower channels to feed air into the front of the cabin and the expansive rear of the cabin. Conventional car has a single blower, which is often a noisy thing, inside the cabin with the occupants. We've got two blowers outside of the cabin, and they fit neatly integrated right above the front power unit.
Some are like
And this gives
that
space not
in
just
Teslas
for
if you get the
the
third row
occupants,
seat.
but it creates a space concept for the frunk, which is unparalleled in its volume. And in fact,
That's
we
what
can
we've heard.
fit the volume of 4 competitor EVs frunks all in our single frunk with litres to spare.
Right, but they're not going to have the
Not
HEPA
only do we
filter,
develop
probably.
HVAC systems and the
Most
thermal
likely.
systems fully in-house,
Those are
we
large.
actually develop a whole host of
Where's his
cutting-edge
head?
technologies and systems
Oh my
with
God.
an absolute industry-leading expert
Yeah,
team.
keep in
One to
mind,
mention would be
space,
our
you're not going to get that
highly
big
redundant Ethernet
HEPA filter like you get in
architecture, and that
Teslas,
ensures
in the
redundancy
Model
for
S and
data
Model X.
management. Not only have we built a hardware-based
I think that's even
security
more
into
important if you
our
ask
gateway
me,
controllers, but the high
having lived with
bandwidth
it.
Ethernet and code structure that we are using for the message transfer ensures that we are a very safe network. At the core of our Dream Drive system, we have a host of 32 ADAS sensors built into the car. That's comprised
Here we go.
of ultrasonic sensors, radar sensors, and a industry-first high-definition LiDAR system that generates a very high-res point cloud that we can use to identify objects in front of the vehicle. We fuse
Elon
this
Musk
data
says that's
from
a
this
fool's errand.
high-res LiDAR with the data we are getting from the radars and the cameras and create a realistic and redundant space for the vehicle to find its path in. We also have a camera inside the car.
They're not
driver
talking
monitoring
about
system.
self-driving.
The key benefit is that the car knows where the driver is
Yeah,
looking
watching the
and whether
driver's
it's attentive
face,
and
like
can
in
take
Cadillac.
over in tricky situations. On top of that, the driver monitoring system enables comfort features that would be driven by facial recognition. Part of the Dream Drive system is, of course, a state-of-the-art park assist system that lets you hands-off park into tight parking spots with no fear of scratching your rims. Like all features in the Lucid Air, we can update the whole Dream Drive experience over the air over time with potential
Dream
to
Drive.
go into a full autonomous driving system and keep the system fresh, attentive,
All right,
and
they mentioned full
state-of-the-art.
autonomous.
And it will be
I got to
standard
replay
on the
that.
Dream Edition of the Lucid Air. In addition
Dream
to
Edition.
the active safety that
That's
we
the
are
higher
covering
price
with
model, I'm
Dream
guessing.
Drive system, we have focused a lot of attention and ingenuity on developing a
Those
super
handles look like
safe
Model
passive
X.
safety
Yes.
system, and that's comprised of a very safe passenger cell. We have developed a comprehensive airbag and seatbelt suite that will achieve 5-star safety rating in the US NCAP safety rating standards. I'm particularly proud that we've been able to re-engineer a headlamp completely. We're using our micro-lens array optical system. A key benefit of these micro-lens arrays is also that we can maintain a very high level of efficiency of energy that we convert into light. Miniaturizing the light module enables us to have the slimmest light output aperture in the industry. On top of that, it's also the most luminant light. It's super bright. A further innovation is a solid-state swiveling high beam, and we've got thousands of little optical channels that distribute the light super evenly onto the road in front of the driver. And with that projection of thousands of images on top of each other, we actually achieve the most homogeneous headlight of any car out there. That was only
Homogeneous.
possible because we have a stellar in-house optical engineering team. It's a completely rethought technology approach to a headlamp. Another aspect that's fully developed in-house is our 924 volt architecture, and that enables us
Teslas
to
is, I
develop
believe,
components that are both very, very
400
efficient
volt,
and
I
also very,
believe.
very powerful. The advantages of having a 900 volt architecture is that we can actually charge the car really, really fast. And that brings me to our fully in-house developed onboard charging system, the Wunderbox, as we call it. The Wunderbox is a real miracle, as Wunder stipulates. Traditionally, the systems we have integrated into the Wunderbox would be all separate. By integrating them into one housing, ultra compactly packaged, we've
Sounds like
managed to
Tesla's
give that
octo
space
valve
back
for
to
the
the
heating and
occupant.
cooling of the
It is
battery.
ultra efficient by using
They've got their thing
silicon
here
carbide
too.
chip technology for the switching, and we've actually tied it into the crash structure of the vehicle. We can charge with this Wunderbox up to 924 volts. We have a built-in DC-DC converter that provides 400 volts to vehicle systems. And one of the most customer important systems, I feel, is the bidirectionality that we've built into our Wunderbox. Not only can we charge the car from your house,
so
the car can also
you can use it as a
supply power to your
stationary
house, which
power
is a
source.
whole new world of features.
Stationary
This
electrical
will
source.
enable
You cannot
to
do that in
use the
Tesla
car
according
as
to
a
their
battery
terms of
system.
service.
In case you
Although I'm sure you
have
could
a
rig it
power
up so that you
outage
could
at
do
your
it.
house, your car will keep the lights on. Because every Lucid Air has this bidirectionality built in, we can
It's thought
use
that the
one
Tesla
Lucid
Model
Air
3 and
to
Y
charge
and
up a
possibly
second
S and
Lucid
X
Air.
can also do
And
this
that
as
leads me
well,
also to
the newer
our
ones,
stationary battery storage systems,
but has
the
not been
ESS
proven yet because, as
systems
I
that
mentioned
we're
in
developing
Tesla's terms of
for
service,
your
at least at
home.
this point in time,
And we are
you can't
reusing
use it as a
our
stationary
battery
power
module
source.
technology and the power electronics technology to make super efficient home battery systems. On top of our home battery systems, we are developing
This sounds
product
familiar.
lines that can be used in businesses as a backup battery storage or on a utility scale. So the Wunderbox enables us to charge very, very fast on level 3 charging, which is the latest high power charging standard. It also enables us to use lower voltage infrastructure that is deployed at 400 volts, and the
That's what
Wunderbox
Tesla's
boosts
doing.
that voltage up to the vehicle voltage. In partnering with Electrify America, we are taking advantage of
And
the
very
vast
unreliable
investment
system,
that they
very
have made in
unreliable.
charging infrastructure
Hopefully
throughout
they'll
the
get
whole
better.
country. We have built in complete convenience.
The entire
by
East Coast has been
integrating
shut
with
down right
their
now for Electrify
systems
America
and
because of
enabling
the
plug-in
software and
charge.
hardware
They
issues
have
they've been having.
chargers that can deliver up to 1,000
So they really
volts.
need to improve that.
enables
Maybe
us
Lucid is putting
put a
pressure
lot
on
of
them at this
power
unveil.
into the car and charge very, very fast. The first owners will receive 3 years of unlimited charging on the Electrify America
3 years,
network nationwide.
Hmm.
At Lucid, our engineers
original
always
owner
push to
only.
the limits. And that is on the range front, eking out every last mile out of the energy of the car, as well as performance development. And the Lucid Speed team has been tirelessly developing the performance of the vehicle from a powertrain performance perspective, the vehicle, the chassis, suspension setups, tirelessly being tuned to give the customer the ultimate driving experience.
Now, are these going to be race cars or is this going to be the Lucid Air production? Let's find out.
Good morning, everyone. This is Lucid Motors heading out for the morning. Track is green.
Looks like a mostly stock version. I'm sure it's not handling the corners well. That's the big problem with EVs, is handling these corners, throwing all that weight around. Considerably heavier typically than ICE vehicles.
I just won Formula Drift and the lap complex. We have made an absolute monster.
Okay, I'm not sure what all that means. They're not claiming it, making any claims here.
We looked for over 60 sites in 13 states, and we found that Arizona is a perfect place to build a
Notice
factory.
they didn't make any claims
It's
at the
very
racetrack.
important to start your factory from the scratch and wrap it around the product you have and wrap it around the processes you want to build there. So once you start to build a Greenfield factory, it's the best approach ever, because otherwise you create waste. And the factory will not be perfect like it should be to be efficient, cost-effective, and quality-driven. Our factory is the first Greenfield EV factory in North America, and I'm very proud to be
Greenfield.
part of that. It will be the fastest factory built within 8 months and some weeks to get the first cars out there. This is really astonishing.
That's almost what Tesla did in China just recently. Very, very similar.
Wrapped around the 10-year plan. So what you see now is just plan phase number 1, and the paint shop is the cornerstone of this factory.
The paint
and we
shop.
built the factory
We know that Tesla's
around
had some
this.
issues with the paint
So
shop.
this factory can scale tenfold, which is, as I know, never has been done before. It can go up to 60 jobs per hour within 10 years, and yep, that will happen. I'm proud of my team.
If
They
there
experts
are
on their
buyers,
topic, and
will there be
have
enough
to keep up
buyers
with
for these
them. That's
expensive
hard.
cars?
It's hard work because
I don't
they're
know.
brilliant.
Not when the competition
They believe
is,
in
gives
what
you
we're
more
doing
value for less
together
money.
and
If
what
that's
we
the
wanna
case,
achieve and where we want to go.
that's going to be
There are two
tough.
factories.
Very
We have in
tough.
Casa Grande also a powertrain factory. So we are building the core of our car, which is the technology from the very beginning to the end, and deliver it to the main factory so the team can build that into the car. This is the core competence that we build up there, because this is a very highly automated and very precise manufacturing method to get that done. And if you want to build a luxury vehicle without quality, there's no way.
They're trying to
You
dig in on
need
Tesla.
quality
Tesla's gotten
in
a
your
lot better,
processes,
though,
in your
with the
design,
luxury
in
vehicles, the
your
S and the
product,
X.
everything you do. And so we're
This
starting
can only
the
be
factory
compared to
with
the
a
Model S.
quality-driven route. We will not hit numbers because we want to hit numbers. That doesn't make sense in a luxury segment.
They
We will
need to hit
quality
numbers, or they're
achievements,
not going to be able to
quality
scale this
goals,
business.
and move forward. And once
That's
we
my
hit that,
concern
then
here.
we can create higher numbers. That is the path. How we want to move forward.
Yes,
and
they're saying
make a community of
quality
Lucid
unlike Tesla is
fans
what he's
who are
saying
super
without saying
convinced
it.
of our
But
products,
will
of
they
our
be able to get the
story,
numbers
of
at
our
all?
culture,
I don't
of
think
what we
so.
believe
I'm
is
very concerned.
important for our planet and for our community. Our approach was to put all the love and care that we put into the Lucid Air into our retail experience, and we refer
here
to
we
those
go.
as studios. We wanted it to be
Probably
totally
company-owned.
different than your traditional automotive
Sounds just like
dealership.
Tesla.
We took inspiration from mid-century architecture and really brought that ambiance and warmth into the space to make it almost feel like a living room, so our customers feel completely immersed in the Lucid experience. Our first studio and service center outside the Lucid headquarters is established in Beverly Hills, California. That is just the first of 20 that we'll establish throughout North America throughout 2021. We know that consumers want to have a direct
They have a lot of catching
relationship
up to do.
with the brands that they love. And we want to enable that in every single touch point, whether that's a completely online digital sales experience.
Well, that's going to be
or
tough.
one that is in our showroom.
Are
in
people
person.
willing to pay a
So the overall
significant
store experience is meant to be
premium
very
for this?
immersive.
Is a
And
real
it's also
question.
meant to be a continuation of
Are
the
they?
online
Because
experience.
Tesla
So
has
we wanted to
suffered in some of these
reinvent the
customer
online
service issues
configurator. We
for
look
sure,
towards
and
video
and
games
service.
for inspiration
But Tesla's gotten
to
a lot
create
better.
a more immersive,
And are they,
more
is Lucid going to be able to catch up and
experience.
almost
A
say like they're
consumer
going to
can go
surpass
online,
Tesla? I don't know.
compare the base Lucid Air
They've got a lot of
to
balls in the
touring
air. They've
level,
got
as
to
well as
juggle
grand
all this
touring
along
level,
with still
and
selling
see
enough
all
cars
the
to make the
trim
company
variations in between.
financially okay.
Save it out on their Lucid ID, then at a later time, visit a studio, present their Lucid ID, and have that same configuration experience on our virtual reality platform. In addition
What's the
to
point
the
of that?
virtual experience, they'll also be able to have the physical experience. They'll be able to touch and feel all the key materials in all the different
This
configurations
is, again,
that are
marketing.
available for
You know,
Lucid Air. Each
I
studio will be equipped with a full display of our battery, motor, inverter, and Wunderbox. That
Like a
way they
museum.
can learn what's at the very heart of the Lucid Air.
it may end up being a museum if they can't stay in
We're
business.
going to launch Lucid Air with a remarkable version, the Dream Edition. And unashamedly, it's my personal choice of car. It's got
It's probably the
over
most
1,000
expensive one.
horsepower, giving it a 0 to 60 time in under 2.5 seconds and a standing
Okay.
quarter in 9.9.
It's
And
about
because
the
it
same as a
achieves
Model
this
S
with the most
performance.
unsurpassed efficiency,
It's not
the
really
car
any
has
different.
remarkable range as well. So this car has performance.
Yes, it has more
and
range because it's got a bigger
in
battery
one
pack than Model
function.
S.
Dream Edition will come in 3 unique colors: white, black, and gold, with Santa Monica interior.
Not
It will
many
feature
choices for all this marketing they're doing about
21-inch
feeling and touching
aero
everything.
Dream wheels and Dream Edition badging.
Dream
So
Edition.
Lucid
There you
Air will
go.
be available in a range of versions. And the mainstay of this will be the Lucid Air Grand Touring. Soon after, we'll produce the Lucid Air Touring version, and that will be available for $95,000.
Yes, still a premium of $15,000 for that base model. Can you read that?
Which is more
They're,
affordable.
yeah,
Lucid Air.
that's a huge price premium.
Start next spring in
$15,000. By the time it's produced, it'll probably be a bigger difference because Tesla keeps cutting costs and passing them along to the purchasers.
For full details of this range of vehicles, please go to our brand new website, which has just become live now. You can reserve immediately for $1,000.
Yeah, you're not going to want to see those prices.
Saying we're all super proud here.
When you look at the value of prices to features, I don't see how they're going to be competitive. You're going to have to really buy into this super duper high quality, amazing customer experience thing when they have almost no network of existing stores or service centers or chargers, and their own network is Electrify America, which is not reliable, and it's not even their network. I'm very concerned.
Our platform, our space concept.
This is mostly Tesla design. It's a very well-designed electric car, but it's nothing new.
Apply it to a complete range of products. We're looking as far as 10 years into the future, and
if they'll be around at that time,
will amaze you.
Again, I'm concerned.
What really excites me is how we can use these technological breakthroughs to benefit more cost-effective, more energy-efficient cars in the future. We're currently about 17%.
They don't really have 17%. They don't really have much technological breakthroughs that I have heard at this point in time.
With 17% smaller battery pack, which has a multiplier effect on the car. It's akin to a 20% cost saving in batteries, implementable today.
And I have to check out all these numbers that they're talking about in terms of efficiency, advantages. I don't know if these numbers are accurate, and I would be highly skeptical. Because of course, they're talking about something they're going to produce in another 1 to 2 years. By the time it comes around, Tesla will probably have even more efficient vehicles and a bigger gap. Remember that. That is very important to remember.
Cost saving in batteries or 17% energy breakthrough. They've achieved them today.
They're only going to get cost savings if they have the volume, and if they can't sell enough cars, they're not going to have that volume. They're going to end up going bankrupt.
I think it's really important we approach this task with a healthy dose of humility. And
I would think so.
Every day that until we've got Lucid Air in production in Casa Grande next spring, we really haven't achieved a thing. It's also important that we look ahead.
I would probably agree with that statement.
And I see 3 areas where Lucid can make a real difference. First is our cars. Secondly is our technologies. And the third is our technology in others' cars. Taking our cars,
license it out
with Lucid Air Dream Edition.
To who?
There's going to be a beguiling range of products which follow that. We have a 10-year plan. They will all
They have a few different designs, but I don't see anything that's incredibly unique in any of the stuff that they've presented so far.
That is the very DNA of Lucid. And we look at our technologies. We've transformed the world of electric racing.
Just giving little teasers there. Yes, racing. Tesla's never been in racing. Like I said, NIO has been in racing, but they have exited that. I don't necessarily know about the benefit of doing that.
Unprecedented. Nobody believed this was possible just a year or 2 ago. Also, we have our first ESS static energy storage system here in this building, our very first prototype. And what really excites me about
just the battery packs for storage.
That our battery packs are made from cost-effective mass production. We can use the same technology.
They haven't talked here anything about the life of these batteries or battery packs, how they have any advantages there, and that's going to be very, very concerning because Teslas are going to be lasting much, much longer than these products. The lifespan could be much, much longer, depending upon what they say at Battery Day in 2 weeks.
To other automakers.
You know, it's anticipating a 1 million mile battery launch.
We can't wait. The world needs to move to sustainable mobility as soon as possible. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
So their batteries are probably only, 150 to 200,000 mile life packs, and not 1 million miles. There's an SUV or a truck.
So I'd like to introduce Project Gravity.
Project Gravity. Yeah, they need something extra here because I have not been impressed with this presentation. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. This is probably their SUV based on the same platform, kind of what Tesla did, only they're doing it all at once because they got to play catch up. They're 8 to 10 years behind at this point in time. Yeah, the SUV version. Probably based on the same platform, just like SNX. Project Gravity. Yeah, it's got a squared off back. I don't know how that's more aerodynamic than the Model X or Model Y. They're not making any aerodynamic claims, I don't think. Q&A. Okay. Yep, they didn't make any aerodynamic claims on that vehicle, but the squared off back, as I've mentioned in a lot of my videos in the past, the squared off backs basically, they really hurt the aerodynamics of the vehicle. And because of that, you know, that's why Tesla has not gone with any squared off backs in any vehicles at all. They've only used like the teardrop shape, which seems like it's what they've used here on the model, the Lucid Air. What do you guys think? I don't know if you've been around and watched or listened to all my comments, but I'm very underwhelmed by this presentation. I just want to be as straight and as direct as I can about this. It's a cool looking concept vehicle. It's just 8 to 10 years too late. When they emerged from bankruptcy, it looks like they just picked up where they left off, which they can't really do. They should have innovated and done something totally different. Everything they've done, Tesla is already doing or already announced they're doing. And like I said, they haven't announced anything that is already rumored for Tesla, such as the 1,000,000-mile battery. And if they don't have a 1,000,000-mile battery, they've got one, as I well know, is only going to last you about 150 to 200,000 miles. Here we go, Q&A.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the live portion of our global reveal. My name is Brian, and I'm coming to you from our headquarters in California, in the heart of Silicon Valley. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us for this amazing moment in the history of our company.
There we go.
This is a story that we've been eager to tell for some time, and we're excited to continue the dialogue with you. Joining me on stage are 5 of our senior leaders, supported by over 1,400 Lucid team members who have worked so hard to make today possible. Joining us online are reservation holders, fans, and media from around the globe. We're going to take questions from this global audience, as well as from a few members of the press who have joined us here in person in a socially distant manner.
Yeah, not impressive at all. I would agree.
That first question.
They're going to have trouble. This is going to be a struggle for them, for sure. The series of questions, they're probably
How do you feel?
predetermined.
What's your reaction?
Well, firstly, Brian, it's great.
Same with the answers. That's what happened with the GM Cadillac unveiling for their electric SUV.
And wherever you are, thank you for your time and your interest in this project, which has been a labor of love for the team.
Unfortunately, that's what it is, a labor of love. I don't know if it's going to be able to succeed.
It's great that you.
Thanks for your comment. Is it Summer?
Today, 9th of September 2020, is a landmark. It's an alignment of many stars. First of all, it's the 170th anniversary of the founding of our state here in California. It's also World EV Day.
World EV Day.
I'd like to say that we'd planned all this around the standing quarter-mile time, the 9.9 seconds.
Just under 10. They're trying to get that.
Maybe we did do that.
Again, it's not going to be noticeably faster than the current Model S. And the next Model S in 1 to 2 years will be even faster. Faster than the Lucid. Tesla's just going to leapfrog them. They're talking about a car that you can't even buy right now.
But for me, I feel it's another step on the ladder, a step on this journey. And I won't rest, I won't celebrate until we've got cars out of that factory in Arizona into the hands of customers.
Who is going to buy these cars? What
Peter, now that
large number of people are going to buy?
Lucid Air
That's
and
the question.
Technological breakthroughs in the EV industry.
Okay, they're
Can you
talking
talk
about
a little bit about what you feel are the
marketing.
major achievements that we've made and contributed.
Sure. I think the big achievement for me is the whole concept and layout of the car. Designing a car is about three-dimensional package. That's how we design.
Just to differ from Tesla? Yeah, that would be it, but that's only going to be a small percentage, I would think. If they're going to have to pay a massive price premium, don't you think? I'm concerned about that price premium. Yeah, the feel special, but is it worth 15 grand more at least for the same vehicle or possibly less performance by the time it's released? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a tough sell.
That to a level that's never been done before. We have a car which is more compact, more agile, and eminently more usable in an urban environment on the outside.
More usable.
And we couple that with perhaps the ultimate luxury of space.
No longer do we need a large barge
Luxury
of
space.
car
Where's their
to
spare tire?
accommodate.
They have squeezed everything out because they have no HEPA filter in their HVAC system for their Model S competitor. So they're not going to be able to have as clean air as they do in a Tesla, and it really makes a difference. I can tell you from somebody that spends a lot of time on the road and on the highways.
To how we've approached that and what that powertrain represents. First of all, you've seen the miniaturization, which has enabled that space concept to be successful.
Yeah, they stuck everything together. So when something goes wrong with that inverter and the transmission and everything else, it's going to be you're spending, you know, $8,000 instead of $2,000 for one of the components because you can't do them separately. Think about that. So the repair costs are probably going to be higher.
Facet and dimension to this technology, which is less evident from all we've shown today, and that is that it's designed for mass production.
They need to get those numbers up, mass production, but that's wishful thinking. That's just wishful thinking, if you ask me.
High-end product, not super mass produced, an exclusive product, but it's that future looking, that future vision that enables this mass produced technology to reduce cost, which will enable it to cascade into lower.
Yeah, but they haven't reduced cost enough already. They're not going to be price competitive out of the gate. Probably 15 to 20,000 more per equivalent vehicle to Tesla. That's just not going to be workable. It's a very price competitive market.
Thanks, Peter. I think you've really addressed one of James Carter's questions in the World EV Day too, about the value of building that car from the ground up. Derek, we talked a lot about the technology, the power,
this is
and the range.
A lot of
but there's
similar
also
feel to that
a
Cadillac
unique
unveiling
design
of the
emphasis.
GM
Where did your
EV.
inspiration come from?
I mean, that's a little bit of a difficult question because it's a lot of.
Of course, I'm sure these are all pre-rehearsed questions and answers, just like the GM Cadillac SUV EV. It was totally rehearsed.
But I think,
and they're making it seem like a Q&A, which it's not. And I think that most people can see through this type of marketing, just like the Cadillac GM marketing. This is all marketing. What I've seen from them is a attempted traditional automotive marketing campaign, which is not going to work in today's market. Today's marketplace is not going to accept traditional marketing like this, even if it appears to have, you know, been rehearsed, spend a lot of money. It's not. It doesn't seem genuine to me.
Now, Derek, we've talked a lot about the car, but we're also rethinking the relationship with the customer.
There we go. The customer service experience. That's the only thing they might have an advantage, but Tesla's going to improve in the next 2 years. We know that.
You know, I don't want to speak for other people, but I know I don't enjoy car dealerships and car shopping. So we want to make that a better experience. And it really starts online. You know, everybody's digital. Everybody's used to transacting online. And so we wanted to give as much a digital experience as possible. But that meant that we needed to dive deeper into the website, talk about our technology.
There's nothing wrong with Tesla's website, that's for sure. They can't claim any advantages there.
We wanted that to be really immersive and really connect with people digitally, but also give a strong sense of a rendered realism and interaction with the customer.
Yeah, the inside of the car looks cool. It's also a design that hasn't even been released yet, right? What's Tesla going to do to update their cars in the next 2 years? My guess is they're going to leapfrog. That's my guess.
The next step there is to bring that digital experience into the retail space.
I do agree the design looks cool.
Platform and engaging that way. And then lastly,
but the newer vehicles always look newer than the older designs. They look better, cooler.
Will create a continuity all the way back through all those prior experiences.
And Derek, this configurator is really a world-first technology in this space, right?
Yeah, we worked very hard with our partners. I mean, go check it out. That's all I can say. I'm super proud of it, and it's a great way to share.
Just a website
about Lucid Air.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, the exterior is awfully plain. The interior is cool. I would agree with that.
There's been a lot of stress, a lot of late nights, I'm sure.
I'm sure they're under stress. I am sure they are.
Shared with the world.
Well, it feels amazing. I'm super proud of the work. You know, we've had an amazing team of people to work with here, the experts here. It's a real collaboration. Yes, it feels sort of like my own baby, but I know that it took an enormous amount of teamwork and dedication, and just it's really exciting and super proud right now.
So, Sue, there was so much attention to detail put into so many parts of the car. What was the first design piece to really come together?
I know I've talked about this before, this idea of when I first came to the studio and met with Derek and then also Peter, and just hearing their vision and, this idea of being able to build a car from the ground
Just
up
like I
was
saw with the
really
Cadillac
designer's
presentation,
dream.
this one is just
So many ways,
underwhelming
it's
and not innovative.
legacy
It's just the
and we talked
same old, if you ask me,
about
being
legacy.
recycled. And
From
I'm
color,
again
material,
concerned, just like I'm concerned for
finish
GM,
perspective, that
I'm concerned for
really
these
that
folks,
my
this
group
company,
has
and this
done
car.
here. I just saw such a great opportunity to really lean into sort of that California legacy, and it ended up being a really natural fit. So for me, that seemed like just the perfect spot to begin, and it came very naturally and easy.
All right, no, it wasn't all natural and easy. What was the most difficult design aspect to get grounded on and to complete?
Well, there's been a lot of challenges for sure, and I think that's just part of the nature of what we're doing. But one of the, I'd say, biggest challenges has been the cabin rail, which you can
Cabin
see
rail.
behind me on the exterior of the car. It's the
Oh, that's
singular
what they're
piece
saying.
of aluminum. And
Marketing.
to really capture that singular
And like you
piece,
mentioned,
that
I'm not
level
a fan of this
get
exterior,
the
so
fine, sort
it's
of
nothing
crafted
special.
quality finish
They
that's
shouldn't
on
be
there.
spending all this time
It's
talking about it, but I
taken
guess I have nothing
a
else to talk
lot
about.
of
It's kind of like how
and a lot of
American beer
expertise
companies in
from
their
us,
advertising, they
from
never talk about the
suppliers,
quality of the
supporting
beer.
house from the
Although they mention the
originals.
quality of their car,
So it wasn't
none have
just
ever been produced.
color
So
and
you can say anything you
materials.
want at
We
this
wanted
point in
to
time.
have this finish on it. It took a lot more than sort of a wish and a desire. It really took this sort of collective.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of collaboration across a lot of folks.
Indeed it was, and I was super proud of it. And it's such an iconic piece of the exterior of the car design.
So let's shift gears a little bit. So, Peter, Siddharth,
Shift
one of
gears.
our
Do they have a
reservation
transmission with
holders, has
multiple
got a question
gears?
that I know you've thought a lot
That's what I want to
about.
know.
We're building out a new car in a new facility. How are we going to ensure quality with these initial releases while
Yeah.
still building for scale?
It's going to be
Oh,
tough.
wow, yeah.
Quality,
If you
mean
launch a new
reliability, the
product,
parts
that's always
and
a
software.
challenge.
It's going to be
If
very
you launch
tough.
a new vehicle, it's a super freaking challenge, and it's like an earthquake. You have new parts, you have new processes, you have new team members.
Even if they have the
coming, you
fit
new
and
factory.
finish of the
Everything's
panels
new,
and the
you better be
interior
prepared. We are
textures
prepared.
better than
We are
Tesla,
well prepared. First of all,
if everything else
we have
breaks,
our
it's not going to be
Lucid
worth anything.
manufacturing leadership team. They are super experienced.
I would be
and
very
they made
concerned.
several product launches in their career already, in both, in automotive environments and in EV startups. Secondly, we have a brilliant team that we trained over the last year here in California, building our engineering cars here, and they learned everything from the ground up, making their own workbooks and everything like that. And the third element is we don't work in silos. We work in cross-functional teams. So the manufacturing team is working together with Eric's engineering team, with Peter Hazenkamp's supply chain team, working together with the ADAS team, software team. So we're working close together to make that happen. And then finally, we have our Lucid production system, a powerful tool that enables us to make continuous improvement, that enables us to
Sounds like Tesla.
have
No model year cars, right?
Technologies
Just
and
keep
techniques
making changes on the
that we
fly
put
on the
in there.
line.
And
Everybody needs to be doing
also
that these
it
days.
has
That
a
shouldn't be
vision
anything
and a
unique.
mission about quality. And then one of the most powerful tools of it is our core value that enables us, that drives a culture of engagement and of passion for quality, for perfection, and precision.
Sounds like
That's
the old
fantastic.
Lexus,
Eric, I'd
the
like to
relentless
dive into the
pursuit of
technology
perfection.
now.
Well, when you're starting
We've
up a
got
new
ton
car
of
company, man,
questions
that's going to be
online
tough.
about charging.
Tesla did that, and we know
We
all the
that
trouble
this
they
is one of
had.
those key questions
These guys
that,
and girls
gas
are going to
powered
have to
owners
start
continue
that
to
whole
sit
thing
with. I
all
think
on their
Peter
own.
referred
This
to
is
it
going to be
as a
very, very
sort of,
challenging.
range doubt or range concern. Why did we choose a 900-volt architecture? And what are our long-term charging infrastructure plans?
Well, first of all, to reduce the amount of times a customer actually needs to go to charge, Lucid Air comes with over 500 miles of range on a single charge.
And as I said, I think it's going to be barely more than the Model S that's available now. It'll probably be like 400 or so, and you can get 400 out of the current Model S. What's Model S going to have in another 1 to 2 years? Probably more than Lucid. So I don't see any advantage there for Lucid.
First and foremost designed with the customer in mind. And it's intended to provide convenient access to really fast charging.
Yeah, but they need a network, a reliable network, one with many, many chargers that can do that fast speed, and they don't have that. And they're not going to have it at launch. There's no way.
To take advantage of the 350 kilowatt charging infrastructure out there. And with that,
yep, and that's going to hurt the battery life for sure.
In just 20 minutes. With our partner, Electrify America,
yeah, and they have that's a company with serious reliability issues for their chargers.
On the nation's largest and
not enough, and serious reliability issues and availability issues.
With our combo socket and our Wunderbox inside the Lucid Air.
Yeah, the Wunderbox sounds cool because you can reverse. That's the only thing I'm finding cool about that Wunderbox. So that you can reverse and use it as a stationary power source and power your house or other things, as you cannot do currently with Tesla, but I have a feeling Tesla will change their policy soon. I have a feeling.
A number of folks have had,
at least on newer models.
The global conversation around climate change, we've seen extreme weather here on the West Coast. Right now, we've got heat waves, we've got wildfires, we've had droughts and rolling blackouts from some of the utilities. How has this influenced some of our thinking?
Well, the Lucid Air with its Wunderbox is perfectly prepared for such events.
Yeah, they're harping on this. They're definitely focusing on this stationary power source feature. But again, it's not going to be unique to Lucid. It might be unique now while they're not producing any cars or any vehicles at all that you can buy, that you can drive today. But by the time they do, I think that Tesla and others will already have that. It's not going to be unique to Lucid. It will not.
The next major step towards sustainable transportation and a significantly more efficient use of our energy resources.
Now, Eric, Wunderbox, where did this name come from?
There seem to be some Germanic genes in there.
All right, we'll come back on
German
that.
engineering is all ICE vehicles and ICE motors.
Pricing is always
Petrol.
a topic of conversation, and as a luxury sedan, how did we
It's a thing of the
arrive
past too,
your
at this
pricing
point.
and some of the models?
Well, Lucid Air will be available from under $80,000.
Huh,
And
wow.
the Air model will be available in 2022.
We'll see about that.
Before that, and moving up the range, the Lucid Air Touring will be available in late 21 from $95,000 US.
That's a premium of $15,000 over the Model S.
Lucid Air Grand Touring will be
Or
available
at least 10.
Mid 21 from $139,000 US. But of course,
That's
we
also
start
like a
with, unashamedly,
$25,000 premium or
the
more
Dream
over the
Edition, which is right
performance.
here behind us, because it's got that mid-range punch, it's got the 1,000 horsepower, the 9.9 seconds. Don't forget
It's
that,
like their
Brian,
performance model.
and incredible range. There isn't a car in the market quite like it for triple the price. I think it's
Oh,
actually
I don't know about
slim at
that.
$169,000.
Wow, that's almost an outright
There's
lie.
any truth to the fact the car had to tap the brakes to hit the 9.9 so that it aligned with our date?
It's a happy coincidence,
All
which
right.
sometimes we create.
Tap
All
the
right,
brakes.
Very good. Derek, the Lucid Air is now launched, and as we've always kind of held as a motto here, we're continuing to look forward, and we got to see a quick glimpse of the Project Gravity, the SUV. How do you see it and some of the future models helping to
See if they're making any
evolve and
claims about
advance
this
what
one in
we've
terms
already
of
brought to market?
aerodynamics and things. I don't think they can.
I mean, Peter's talked about the space concept and how important that's been to Lucid Air, and it's really defined the product. But we're not just launching a car, we're launching a brand, right? And the first product helps define that, but the second and the third and the fourth have to elevate that even further. So we're really taking a deep look at the architecture.
They make no
applying that
mention about
to
them going
Project Gravity,
bankrupt previously.
and making sure that that has
Of course,
all the
well, I guess
values
we knew
and
they
incredible
wouldn't.
experience and really takes SUV crossover space to the next level, much the way Lucid Air has for the sedan. But we're also looking at a broader range of products 7 to 10 years out. What else
If
can
they
we do
survive
with this
that long.
amazing technology, with this incredible platform, the versatility, the performance,
Yep, same
the space?
platform.
There's a whole range
Parts
of
bin
product
engineering, basically.
possibilities there.
If you're
And
familiar.
so we're currently exploring that. And
That's
I'm
what S and X do,
super
and
excited
also
with
3
what
and
the
Y
team's
do
been coming up with.
in Tesla.
That's right. I'm excited to see the Gravity in my garage in the next couple of years.
You and me both.
Sue, we talk about innovation, and whenever we talk about innovation, sustainability is always aligned with that these days. How do we think about the current topics in the world and materials influencing some of our choices when we think about sustainability?
Well, it's a subject we talk about a lot here. I don't think you can build an EV without incorporating sustainable
I wonder if they have
materials.
leather interiors.
We know that
Tesla's gotten rid of all those.
our market is
Are they even going to say that?
Partaking in that in their own.
If they're going to have leather
personal lives,
interiors, I don't see how they're focused on
shopping,
sustainability.
organics, and local
That's all I've got to say
shopping
about that.
and buying materials that are healthier for fashion, less disposable clothing. There's a lot of things happening.
They're not mentioning it. They probably do have leather interiors. Somebody check the website and let me know here in the comments if they have a leather interior, either standard or available on this car. Because as you guys may know, Tesla's gotten rid of all animal skin interiors. They're no longer even available.
As well as it is here at Lucid. And we're looking at materials such as, we have a beautiful textile in our interior. It's a combination of wool with 100% recyclable polyester.
Oh, wool. Well, that's not sustainable.
And it's from an alpaca, so we use the natural color.
Yeah, I'm already feeling really bad now for sure about this.
Wool.
No way
And
is wool
so it means
sustainable.
less dye stuffs, and that means less chemicals. We also look at our supplier base.
Yeah, well, it's animal
Look at
animal
where the
product,
materials
and that
are
is not
coming
good for the
from,
environment.
Where the raw goods are coming from, what the logistics are of those, how far they have to travel to the manufacturing plant, how they're manufactured in the plant. So we really are looking at so many aspects of this, and we want to continue not only with all the sort of sustainable materials that we already have in air, but as we move into our next products to push that even further.
It sounds like it's really influencing from.
Someone's trying to
beginning
invest in
end
this company. I would say sell at this point.
Very important.
Sell.
Let me stay with you on a new concept. So in the video, we talked about this concept of space duality when we were talking about the inside of the car. Space duality. Can you break that down a bit more for us?
Well, I think
Different
Derek
levels,
and Peter both talked about
compartments. Tesla and other
the
EVs
amount
have
of
this
space that
already.
we have on the
It's
interior
not
of the
anything
car.
unique.
The conversation really started.
And I wonder if they are
with
compromising
CMF,
safety as well
between
to add
CMF,
some
which is
more
the Color
cubic
Material
feet.
Design Group,
That
and the
remains to be
Interior
seen with the
Design
crash
Group,
test for this vehicle.
about wanting to have a different experience on the interior of the car, not only because we had more space, but how could the color and material sort of enhance this idea of the front being a more active place in the car, you know, where you drive, versus the more passive experience you have in the back
The
seat.
two-tone interior, that's what I'm calling it. Two-tone interior.
Having this beautiful.
I don't know if that's going to be
the experience in the
enjoyable
back seat
after a
is
couple of
really
years.
unique, and
It may look
by
unique, like she says, and
color
cool
back
and
there,
different,
making it different than the
a
front
different style,
occupants,
but it's over the long term, I don't think
really
people are going to appreciate that.
sort of
That's what I
set
think.
that idea in place. And what I found really interesting at some of our past events is people want to get in our back seat first. And that's really unusual. I mean, normally you're buying a new car, the first thing you do is you open the front door, get into the driver's seat, put your hand on the steering wheel, and sort of run your hand over all the beautiful materials and, you know, the knobs and switches. And yet our customers want to get in our back seat. And I think that says so much about how special our back seat experience is and how much room there is back there. And lastly, that you don't feel discounted or ignored. You really do feel like you're in the car having a conversation with all occupants. So it's been sort of a surprise.
Now, Sue, my kids have been yelling.
I am not
shotgun
impressed
for
by her
years
little
to
description
be
of that,
Teslas.
not at
Are
all.
you telling me those days are over?
Well, they may be. We'll
All right.
see.
All right. Peter, Arizona for the factory location. You mentioned reviewing a number of states. How did we actually choose and settle on Arizona?
Yeah, first of all, we made a very extensive search in 13 US states and over 60 locations. And we looked at factors in regards to geographic location, infrastructure, nearby supply bases, and also looked at talent. And we decided to build the world's most advanced vehicle and to build the first EV Greenfield factory in the US in Casa Grande in Arizona.
I think
And
that
that's a
Arizona is
great place
also
to be.
home of
And I
Atlas,
can tell you
the
when
electric
when I talk
vehicle
about the
company.
talent we found
So
there,
good
these are
location.
people who are eager to
I don't think
learn,
that Lucid
they're willing
necessarily
to
needed to
step
be
up.
there.
They want to build a quality car. And Arizona, Pinal County, the city of Casa Grande, they support us so much. And you can see that in the
They must have
results.
gotten lots of incentives.
We built the world's fastest factory in less than 9 months there. And that is really
We'll see when it's done. We'll see,
Do we have a
because
world
Tesla
record
just
on our
built
hands
one,
here
Oh,
in
you
terms of-
bet.
I think in
That's a
10
world
months.
record, yes.
Yeah, in China, but they're not done yet.
Touched on
Let's wait till
the
they're done.
Greenfield factory, and the
Wait till they're done and
advantages
actually
of a
building
Greenfield versus retrofitting
vehicles
them
and
in
delivering
somebody
them.
else's factory. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. Building a Greenfield factory from a clean slate is really a good thing to do, because you have your processes and you can design and build your factory around these processes, and then it's super efficient what you're doing then there. And what we did is also we can scale our factory up. So we build it first a little bit smaller, and then we go up to tenfold.
Yeah, this is not a real Q&A,
And
just
that's
so you
the
guys
most
know.
efficient way you can
Not
do
at
it. You
all.
can
This is all
never do that
staged,
with
for
the
sure.
existing plant. You always have a plan from the 20th century, and you have to follow the processes of that decade or century.
Now, Peter, I'd like to put you on the spot and get specific, right? 9 months, we've got cars that are being built there. What are we building now at the factory? And kind of lay out the next 6 months for us.
Yeah, what are they building?
Yeah. So now at the moment, the first engineering cars are rolling out of General Assembly. And these are cars that we will hand over to Eric's teams, and that they get finally tested and final tested now. And then we're going to step into RCs, so-called RCs. These are release candidates. These are cars for manufacturing that we can dial in our equipment to the fraction of a millimeter, so we can produce quality in next spring, when we will SOP, have start of production, and hand over the first cars
We'll see.
to our customers.
It remains
Super
to be
excited.
seen.
That'll be an exciting spring indeed. Eric,
Even
we've
Tesla's
had
missed
some
all their
questions
deadlines,
from reservation
for the most
holders
part.
all around the world, including Loe, who want to know how we're preparing the Lucid Air to keep that incredible level of performance in some of the world's most extreme climates, like the Arabian Gulf or some of the deserts here in the US.
Yeah, extreme climates for me immediately lead me into our in-house designed and developed heating, air conditioning, and thermal systems. First and foremost, they are designed to keep our drivers and passengers comfortable in our spacious cabin.
And of course the battery pack. It's dual
Secondly,
purpose. They call
the
electric cars,
heating
well-designed
and
electric cars
cooling
anyway.
provides our powertrain components
Yep.
with what they need.
But when you're
to
charging at
perform
350
optimally
kilowatts,
for performance and
that's going to
efficiency.
cause a lot of degradation.
Now,
You
if we
have to
zoom
have near
down
perfection
into
in
our
this climate
battery
control.
pack and there into our battery modules, we have developed race-proven and highly efficient heating and cooling methods that we've perfected for scalability
I would hope so.
and for cost.
Now, it's one thing to design, it's another thing to test. Can you share a little bit about where we conducted some of these testing such that we have the confidence in the performance?
Well, our teams have frozen up in Minnesota for many, many months during winter testing, or we have also taken advantage of this heat wave this year and tested our vehicles for hot climate in Nevada and our home state for manufacturing in Arizona. And we've proven to ourselves that our systems are capable of everything they need to do to keep the customers as well as the powertrain happy and performing. Now, I hate to say this, but I really want to take this car rather to test on the German Autobahn. That's where it's going to excel.
And they haven't done that?
Very
They
good.
should have done that by now.
Peter, when we talk about investment in Lucid
Batteries tend to
motors,
overheat,
Arthur,
by
one
the
of
way,
our
electric
reservation
cars.
holders, is a question around
If you saw the Pikes Peak
Lucid's
recently, they were
IPO
constantly
strategy,
overheating, even on the
right? Are we thinking
Teslas.
about going public, and what's the timing that we're thinking?
Investing.
Yes, it's part of our strategy to IPO. We anticipate doing that within the next couple of years. And I'm so cognizant of what a hot space this is at the moment.
That's if they
There's a lot
can
of
succeed in their launch, I would
investment
think.
interest in this sustainable
Yeah,
mobility
EV
space.
sector is hot
And
right
I
now,
think
that's
one
for
of the
sure.
differentiators of Lucid cut us
Would have been
to
great if they
core
went public last
core tech
week,
company.
or sold
We're a
before
tech
Tesla
company.
launched all
We're
their
doing
next
energy
offering of
storage.
stock,
We've
which
got battery
diluted everything.
technology. We're
Same with
fusion
NIO, they did the
software,
same thing.
hardware, and we do cars. The car is really a computer on wheels as much as it is a car, and we see that, all those systems. And that tech really differentiates this company. All the core tech is in-house.
I think the back end of that car looks really weird. That's what I'm thinking now. The Lucid Air. The SUV looks even weirder.
And I think that makes a huge differentiation.
But I'm sure it does help with the aerodynamics, but it's kind of mimicking a hatch while still being a trunk, which in my mind is a severe compromise.
Towards the tail end of the film, Peter tried to uncover a car, and you quickly shut him down.
Yeah, he got a little carried away there. We had to put that cover back down.
Help me with what excites you most when you think about those future models and the design elements.
I think, you know, we worked really hard from day one to come up with a Lucid DNA that was not just amazing for Lucid Air, but we could apply hopefully to future products and had a way to evolve. And so I mentioned earlier, we're already working on several different product ideas out beyond Lucid Air, out beyond Gravity, that we can apply that DNA to. Of course, everything we do, we're thinking about our future customers.
It's just really parts bin technology. That's what this is called. It's been around forever.
Our head in that space.
They better be good parts, reliable parts.
We love technology.
We don't know anything about the reliability of these cars.
Ourselves, but we're also thinking about that consumer.
And it's a major headache for Volkswagen right now in trying to launch their ID electric vehicle. Reliability issues, they can't even get these things working right. Same with Electrify America and the charging infrastructure.
Obviously performance and efficiency,
which of course Lucid says they're going to use and partner with, and that's a little scary.
I think will really define that space in the future.
Now, Peter, we've talked about the future of the models of the car. We've talked about the future from an IPO strategy perspective. Kind of the third pillar really is around some of our technology. Can you help me? You've touched on it a bit, but how do we think about the long-term strategy of this company?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it's important we approach this with a healthy dose of humility. Until we've got Lucid Air into production, we really haven't achieved a thing. But I do think we need to have a vision and a strategy. And I see three prongs, as I've outlined in the video. First is our cars.
Master plan,
dialing range
like Tesla had.
We have a 10-year plan. We have a multi-platform plan.
They didn't mention their warranty, by the way.
To really take electrification to a whole new level. I promised when I came here, we'd take it to another level. I believe this is the first manifestation of that.
I think it's the same as Tesla's plan, only they're 8 to 10 years late.
Relentlessly,
I don't see how they're going to catch up.
Of the highest technology in our products. So that's the car products. But also we have this tech division, our technology division.
Powerwall,
and
Tesla.
A great example is what we're doing in
home battery packs.
World Championship Motorsport.
Oh, okay, the racing. Like I said, NIO has abandoned the racing technology.
The same with our energy storage.
Energy storage. There you go. I think that the racing is no longer relevant to what goes on in the automotive industry. That's my opinion.
And I see that division of the company, frankly, being as big as our cars over the next 6 years. And then the third thing, which is quite exciting, because our technology is so miniaturized, and because of its efficiency, that drives down cost. And it's further
but the costs are not driven down enough, unfortunately, not for them to start at the prices they've been quoting.
Product in other manufacturers' cars, because I think that
if anyone's going to buy them, who's going to buy those products?
Our cars, our tech, and our tech in
other manufacturers' cars.
Now, Peter, as we look to bring this Q&A,
Even Tesla's not doing that. They'll say they'll license their stuff out, but they're not even doing that right now.
Kind of closing remarks today as we conclude the reveal of the global reveal of the Lucid Air.
Well, thank you. It's been a real privilege for so many people from around the world to join us wherever you are this morning, this evening.
And by the way, there were about
this
700
night,
people on their
for
Facebook
joining
page
us.
watching
I
us
feel
at the
that
beginning. There's
world
about
has shrunk a little
350
bit,
right now.
for
It's
you
shrunk
to,
down. Not a very good
hopefully
turnout for an
enjoy,
audience, if you ask
what we've
me.
had to show. As you can see, it's been a labour of love from over 1,400 people. It's a huge team effort, and I've got a great, who couldn't fail with a great team like this? And there's so many more behind the scenes, and no one person does this. It's a huge collaborative effort, and that's what we need to inspire, to change the world, to make the world a better place. And you know, I come back to this recurrent theme. It's very difficult for me to demonstrate this to our audience right now. But what excites me the most and what drives me is that the technology we create today for this world-leading high-end product can readily cascade into other echelons of the market.
If they survive.
Sustainable mobility.
But Tesla's already doing that. These guys don't even have a product you can put in your hands right now.
And we all need that. The environment needs that. We need to accelerate that process.
I think Tesla stock's going to take off after this.
Vision,
This guy used to work with Tesla, was bankrupt before and tried to restart, and I just don't see how they're going to do this. They're just going to stumble, in my opinion.
The Lucid community.
Probably never even make it to the IPO.
Thank you for sharing with us. And goodbye from Silicon Valley.
All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. An hour and 20 minutes in. So glad I didn't get on the first 10 minutes before the thing started. They had it 10 minutes early. There was nothing there. And this is ultimately disappointing for me, but as a Tesla stockholder and NIO stockholder, I'm glad. I had to sneak in and kind of look at what they've got planned, but I am expecting very, very little from this company, and I don't think that they're even going to survive. So thanks so much for joining us, and let me know your opinions in the comments.